Long story short, I have completed my thought experiment task. As you may know, it was a 50-50 module. 50% was for research, hence why I've been posting a few videos now and again. And the other 50 was for the performance, or the pechikichu as it's called, the happening or a presentation, as many students did. Like I've said in my previous videos, I did disconnect the phone, where I looked at everything around that. You know, I talk a lot about it in my blogs and in my previous videos. But today I just want to talk about the performance aspect of it, how that went. I don't have any videos of it, sadly, but I do have a small little snippet, small little video, but nothing major. But I also want to talk about what I've been doing recently, because there's been a little break from that project to the next project. And I also want to talk about the next project that I'll be doing right now. So in my performance, I decided to sample a phone. The video of that is on my channel. Again, I'm referencing lots of other videos. But the differences with that demo and the actual performance is I decided to take a little bit more creative inspiration from some of my previous work, some of my previous blogs, where I talk about what is socially acceptable. One of the things that I discuss is the whole idea of being socially acceptable, of shouting in public. It's not that socially acceptable. In fact, it's quite frowned upon. And you got to think of like fights and public outbreaks as something very similar. Typically, if somebody does that, they're shunned from that environment. If people see somebody shouting in public or having some form of mental breakdown in public, people tend to stay away. In some cases, they are disconnected from that social situation or society in that moment. It doesn't mean that it stays like that forever, of course. Those things happen. Maybe you've even had one or two in your lifetime. But the whole idea was I wanted to incorporate this little piece of research into my performance. Now, the way I did that was I decided to destroy the landline phone that I was using, the prop, the actual performance piece, by throwing it on the floor and stamping on it. I didn't ask any permission because I found out that it's not allowed, but who cares? It's an art project. It's art. You can do whatever you want with art. You can even show your bits off, and people, well done. So I decided to slam this into the ground and stamp on it. Sadly, however, I can no longer find the handset. This is all that's left. You've got the microphone here, and these are the two speaker cables. Hello, this is the CIA. We are listening to you. So, long story short, I did that. I haven't had my marks yet. I was meant to get it last Thursday. I was meant to get it last week, basically, and I couldn't pick it up. So I'm gonna wait for my marks to come back and improve upon those marks on the next thing that I'll have to do, and for other presentations as well, which I wish to do in the future. Before I get on to what my next task is, I'd just like to talk about what I've been doing in the period in between my thought experiment and this group project that is coming up. Just to condense things, I have been writing a lot more music for clients. I've done things for a guy called Craig Lewis. I did a bit of orchestral scoring for that. You could see a little bit of that went towards the end of my thought experiment, where you were hearing a lot of orchestral music. Those were the rejected pieces that I'd written for him. So since then I've been writing a lot. I've also been doing a few more studio sessions with a guy called Nathan Warnes. He's a long-term client. I've had him as a good friend for many years, and he is thinking about doing an album. I've also been doing studio sessions with Rodri Darcy. I've been working with his son really closely, writing new tracks, you know, vibe sessions, as you like to call them, just general beat making sessions, which is really cool. And an odd thing to come out of that, from making beats to playing bass in funerals. I played bass at a funeral. I've been doing quite a bit of video editing as well recently. I've had a good friend of mine, Mev. She had a video that she wanted me to edit and to put subtitles to, so hearing impaired people can hear, and as well a little bit more, look a bit more professional as well. That went on to another job of a guy called Wall. I did live sound last Saturday for 3 bands, or 1 band, 1 singer and 1 sort of DJ artist, which was really cool. It's 12-hour long day for small pay, but you gotta do your grind. It's gone into another video editing job where today I had to go down to Wall's house and I picked up his drive full of videos that he wants me to edit for, which is good, to be honest. It's good that I'm starting to do a bit more work on the side, so it's just not just university work. I can also make a little bit of the whole idea was to put bring bring. So the next project that I've got coming up is a project called Collaborative Dialogues. Now, the whole idea of this is to get different students who are not friends, who don't really know each other, from different disciplines, and to work together in a group. But I'm a little bit nervous to see how things go because, you know, there is no leader in these sort of groups. There's only, like, I don't know how it's going to work, but we got too many different ideas trying to do something different, and we have to try and find a way to like that. So the whole idea with that, like I said, is a group task where it's our thought experiment all over again, but we pick the whole idea behind it. Sometimes we can actually carry over our thought experiment. So the whole idea with this project is to get multiple students from multiple disciplines to be in a group of maybe 7 to 8 people, and for us to work on an idea which we discuss. Now, it is advised for us to sort of merge our thought experiment ideas into one. The only problem with that, everybody's got different thought experiment ideas. Some of them are going to be quite compatible, some of them are going to be quite hard to shoehorn together. In our group we've got 1 sound guy, which is me. We've got 2 visual communications students. One of them happens to be Chinese, and he's one of my good friends, Halal. I can't really say his Chinese name, but he's given himself the name Halal so that British people can speak it. And we've got 2 art and design, or art students in general, and we've also got an automotive and car design student, which is quite a nice group of people. We've got quite a lot of people who are visual, some people who are audio visual, 1 person who is specifically audio, which is me, but then we've got this other one, which is automotive and car design, which is going to be quite hard to try and incorporate into a group setting. I've got no problem with doing something which is automotive and something which is more physical, as opposed to digital art and sound and visual medium, which is all digital. However, as a group, I don't think they are very happy with trying to do something physical. In fact, I think that they're trying to go for something which is more conceptual in nature, which is kind of hard to incorporate. Physical car design person who works with clay, who works with whatever they work with. A few of the ideas that we have discussed are regarding my idea, apparently, because somebody had listened to the radio for their idea. or something like that, listen to AM radio. And it sort of fits in with mine because we're both audio. Even though she's visual communications, it sort of works out. Even though mine was disconnect the phone, it was all to do with communications. Hers was about one-way communication radio. The other ones were assortment of different ideas. So the main two ideas that we came up with the group last week was something either to do with radio or something to do with card games, which is kind of an odd one to think about. I don't know how that got incorporated into the mix, but one or two people were interested in that idea. So it just depends on what they prefer. So my projections on the future: by Friday this week we have to present our idea, and that'll be our final idea, and then we're meant to pick it up and run with it. So the whole idea is that we're not branching out like last time with the thought experiment, where we're doing this there, everything around the topic. What we're meant to do is finalize a topic, go streamline it, and then run with it. And we can do individually, like as I am doing. We could explore different avenues, but then as a group, then we have got a directive and an aim, an objective that we can go towards. The whole concepts that I've discussed haven't been finalized, so we might not do anything like those ideas, but it gives us a starting point. Probably within the second week of this, we have got an end goal that we'd like to be at, and from that then we are able to present our information and our data and everything around that regarding this topic, or whatever topic that we decide to discuss in this thought experiment group project idea. With regards to this thought experiment idea, I think that is it for now. It's no longer called the thought experiment, it's like a collaborative dialogue it's called. But it's easier in my mind to think of it like a thought experiment, because then it sort of gives me the same attitude that I had towards the thought experiment. The only difference is that I've got a group of people and I have to incorporate them as well within my workflow when it comes to the final product or project, whatever we've got. Whereas it's going to be 50-50 anyway, 50% research, 50% presentation. So as a group we do the presentation, but then as an individual we do our research, and we show our individual part within the research and within the main project, if that makes sense. I've rambled quite a bit in this video. I just want to give my small little projections on the future of me blogging and being on YouTube, because I actually do enjoy doing this. Even though it is quite hard and quite tedious at times, I just like to talk about things and ramble a lot. Hopefully this video is going to be quite short and not too long-winded. Hopefully I'll be uploading a lot more, which I'd like to do, and I'd like to show what I've been doing during the week rather than doing something and then just posting it on Instagram. You know, I think it's quite interesting showing people what I do, even if for them it might not be interesting. It might be interesting for me, it might be interesting just for the one viewer, but who cares? It's my YouTube channel. I like to do what I want to do. The only difference is I'll be active, a lot more active, but I won't have any set schedule. I'll upload at certain points. I'll try and upload once a week. But as in terms of upload schedule, I don't really have a schedule. My only free days are Monday to Wednesday, and I'll be doing quite a bit of work in between those days regarding my coursework and other bits and pieces, like my essay, 4,000 word essay that I have to do. I can talk a little bit about my essay. It'll be boring though, so you might not want to hear about that, but other than that, I'll be a lot more active on YouTube. That's all I wanted to say. I hope you have a good day. The whole idea was to put